reached out and asked if you had read the indictment. You said you read it word for word, page for page, right?
I did. I keep up. I love Jackson.
Even though they've not been in court and they've not been found guilty, it's just an indictment at this point.
They don't see it. My first statement was, think of your family. Think about your family. Put your family first.
I never thought in a million years we would have been put in the situation that we were in. Never. Because we went through our whole career doing the right thing.
It's utterly ridiculous to me. Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Othor Cain Show. I'm Othor Cain. Glad to have you here on a Thursday. We won't be long tonight because I know many of you are prepping for the 4th of July. Almost contemplated not doing the show today, but I felt the need to at least talk about what's going on in Washington, D.C. So I want to get to that in just a quick second. But first, as always, though, I definitely want to say to you, thank you for your support. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for contributing to us and following us and engaging with us. Our endeavor, honestly, I just want to speak from the heart for a moment. Our endeavor, honestly, is to really bring you information and news that you can use, right? There are so many other platforms out there that you can take advantage of, or people that you call influencers who you can follow. But let me just say this: what we purpose to do here is to bring you good information, solid information that you can make informed decisions, or to give you another way of looking at things. And please forgive me, I have a cold, sinuses, all of the summer sinus, all of that crap is going on with me now. Eyes feel like a golf ball. But that's what we endeavor to do, to really provide good information for Mississippians and for many others, right? We want to tell the stories of Mississippians, but we also want to put you in a position where you can see what's happening in the rest of the world. So your support means absolutely everything to us. It means absolutely everything, because we can't do this without you. So feel free to donate. Feel free to subscribe, not describe, to subscribe. Feel free to send stars, make donations. You can make donations via Cash App at $ Othor Cain. You can make donations via Venmo. You can subscribe. You can send stars. Those are just ways to help us continue to do what we do. There's a lot of foolishness out there, and there are other places you can be that provide information as well. But the fact that you opt to be with us, we don't take it lightly. We are very grateful, and we are absolutely appreciative that you're here. And so again, happy 4th of July Eve. We won't be long. But I could not let the day go by without at least giving a public spin on what happened. Right before I came on, I think I made a post because I've been watching videos, I've been following all of these people, reading all of this stuff, right? Reading all of this stuff. Hey, Bobby, how are you, ma'am? Hey, Barbara and Bobby, how are you, ladies? Thank you for being here. I've been reading all of this stuff and following all of this news, and sometimes it really can become overwhelming and with all the negative news that's going on. But I also think it's very important that we stay abreast as to what's happening. And right before I came on, for some reason, I think maybe something that I read, something that I saw, triggered a thought. And that thought was about John McCain, right? That thought was about John McCain, God rest his soul, former United States Senator John McCain. And I remember so vividly, he was sick. He could barely speak. In fact, he made his vote with his thumb, and he gave a thumbs down before he died. He gave a thumbs down in the United States Senate where the Republicans were trying to stop the passage of a healthcare bill then. Some of y'all call it Obamacare. He knew how detrimental taking those rights away, he knew how detrimental that was going to be. And he gave a thumbs down to that. That senator, Lisa Murkowski, or whatever her name is, she could have been the John McCain of today because she knew that bill was bad. Even after her yes vote, she said, I don't like it. She knew the bill was bad. But my mind started racing on John McCain because there's not one Republican in the United States Congress or in the United States Senate, or here locally for that matter, that has the spirit of John McCain. John McCain, while we did not agree of how to run the country on a day-to-day basis, was a good man, even with our disagreement. The way he defended Obama once when that lady tried to call him a Muslim, and he did not let that lie live, and he said Obama was a good man. He put partisan politics aside and said, you know, Obama really is a good man. We may differ. Ideologically, we may differ, but Obama is a good man. And he wouldn't let that lie live, right? And he gave a thumbs down at his, that was his vote on the United States Senate floor. Because he knew the detrimental effect of stripping folks of a basic need of health care, the devastating effects it would have on people across the country, not just folk in his district, but people across the country. Senator Lisa Murkowski, I think is how you pronounce her name, out of Alaska, could have been the John McCain of today, but she folded. She got a little of what she wanted for some Alaskans. There's still thousands and thousands of Alaskans who will lose health care. This bill that the president will sign into law tomorrow, that he'll sign, is bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It is bad. Let me just share a little bit with you. You've heard the numbers. 17 million Americans will lose health care. Out of those 17 million, 153,000 here in Mississippi. 153,000 here in Mississippi. Some parts of this legislation, absolutely, Carol, his health was failing. His health was failing. He was in a wheelchair. They pushed him in. But he knew how important that one vote, his one vote, was. And folks, let me just say this. If this doesn't tell you the importance of electing the right people, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. Every Republican in Washington should be sent home. And those folk in the Congress today, they had the nerve to applaud and dance to the song YMCA after they delivered this blow to us, right? After they delivered this blow to us, they had the mitigated gall to dance to the song YMCA as if they had something to celebrate. We need to send every single Republican home. So the bill passed. Our fight now is at the ballot box during these midterm elections. Cindy Hyde-Smith, she needs to go. She has to go. But you know, she was quoted, and I'm so angry with Ty Pickens now. I'm not going to get off on that tangent. I'll save that for another day. But she had the nerve to say the other day that she was thankful and looking forward to the easiest election ever. Right? Right? That she was thankful and looking forward to the easiest election that she's ever faced. And then 2 days later, Ty Pickens did what he did. I'll let you draw your own conclusions there, but we'll talk about it later. I am telling you, we have a choice of who we want in the United States Senate, and we need to send her home. November of 26, people. We need to rock the boat this midterm election. But let me just share a couple of other things in terms of how bad this bill is. Some parts of this legislation will be so catastrophic for the state of Mississippi. The changes to Medicaid reimbursement policy may cause our rural hospitals to close. The changes in the match requirements for states to make and to sustain the SNAP program may cause citizens to lose food stamps. The changes in the Obamacare healthcare exchange will drastically increase the premiums. And I have a question, and maybe some of you smart folk out there can answer this. Why do white people in rural America always vote against their own best interest? Why? Why? Barbara Johnson, that's a great question. She says, Othor, who can we get behind to replace Hyde-Smith? And I will tell you who I am getting behind, Scott Cologne. Scott Cologne is my choice to replace Cindy Hyde-Smith. And if you haven't heard of him, he's a DA here in the state of Mississippi. You should be hearing from him very soon. A very impressive record, an impressive young man. He has been working and leading. His dad has invested monies across this state, and they've supported people like you wouldn't believe. And so hopefully we'll get him on soon. But he has my full support. And so you'll be hearing a whole lot more about him in the days and the weeks to come. But remember that name, Scott Cologne. Remember that name, Scott Cologne. Y'all, I am so angry. And more than anything, I think I'm just hurt because the very basic things they're trying to strip from us. But I want you to watch, and I hope Dr. J has this video. I sent it over to her late. But if we have this video, I want you to watch this video. And Keith Boykins lays it out. And he calls it what it really is. It really is Black versus white. Take a look.
Most Republicans have just passed Trump's big, ugly, and wildly unpopular budget bill. Let me show you why.
We're going to press on until victory is won.
That's Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic leader, arguing against the bill.
Vote yes on the bill.
That's House Speaker Mike Johnson, the Republican leader, defending the bill. See the difference? The Republican Party in America has become the official white party, and Speaker Mike Johnson is the unofficial chair of the Congressional White Caucus. As long as Trump and Republicans continue to defend whiteness and promote anti-blackness, then Republican voters will continue to support the party even as it decimates programs that help Trump's own people. This bill cuts Medicaid, rips away health insurance from 12 million people, and takes food off the table of 40 million recipients, all to pay for tax cuts for billionaires. Even Republicans know the bill is bad.
Do I like this bill? No. There are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill.
But that's a sacrifice many of them are willing to make to protect white supremacy. They may lose their health insurance, but at least they won't be black. Here's the dirty little secret they don't want you to know. Americans aren't against government. They love Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, veterans benefits, unemployment, FEMA relief, and other government programs. They just don't want black and brown people getting it. So they vote against their own self-interest. Until we deal with the problem of racism in America, we're just going to find ourselves in a situation over and over again. This is why we can't have nice things.
And I think he is absolutely spot on. I think he is absolutely spot on. Barbara says, okay, that's a good one. Wasn't he the one Hyde Smith did not want to confirm? Absolutely. He is absolutely the one. Joe Biden nominated him for judgeship. He is absolutely the one she would not confirm. Absolutely. Brenda says, Mississippi Republicans are much like those in D.C., getting legislature from the other red states and enacting it into law here, even though it's not a pressing issue. Stay woke at the legislative process, impacting all of us. You're absolutely right, Brenda. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Y'all, let me tell you something. I don't know what it's going to take to motivate us to vote. I just don't know if what happened in DC over the course of these last few days isn't enough to get angry about and push us to the voting booths. I don't know what will. To see those Republicans in the House today dancing to the song YMCA as if this was something really to celebrate. And I got to tell you, I was encouraged to see a group of folk standing outside of Mike Guest's office in Brandon or wherever it is in Rankin County today. Too little, too late, but I was impressed that it happened. I am impressed with anybody who is not afraid to use their voice. I'm impressed with anybody who's not afraid to use. Folk trying to silence us, right? Folk trying to silence us. I am impressed with anybody who stands up and uses their voice for good. Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House, stood up for 8.5 hours on the floor today, trying to stop this devastating legislation. I don't know if the folk that voted for Trump voted for this. I don't know if the folk that voted for Trump voted for this. But if there is a redlining, or if there is any consolation in this, we're not the only ones that's going to be impacted by this dangerous, ugly bill. We're not. We're not. We're not the only ones that's going to be impacted. But that's what they do. They would rather sacrifice their own and let them suffer with us versus seeing us move forward. A sad state of affairs. A sad state of affairs. A sad state of affairs. We deserve better. We deserve better. I don't know what else to say. The basic necessities are being stripped away. They are literally taking money. And I'm saying they took it because it passed. From starving, hungry children. Just so the wealthiest of Americans, millionaires and billionaires, can have a tax break. Forget running up the deficit. They don't care about that. They don't care. And it's increasing by trillions of dollars. They don't care about that. Trump making good on his campaign promises. And not a Republican in Congress has a backbone or a spine to say, no, this is wrong. Yeah, Lisa McCloskey out of Alaska said it's wrong after the fact, after she voted yes for it. That means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. You voted for it. Now you're talking about it's bad. Give me a break, man. Give me a break. Give me a break. Folk, listen. We need some changes in D.C. for the state of Mississippi. We need changes in D.C. for all across the country. But for us Mississippians, we need change. We got a good person running. Some are starting to admit some concern, but they still support Donald J. Trump. They are realizing Medicare is a part of the ACA and that the cops won't pick themselves. Medicaid. Yep, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Midterm, November 26. November of 26. We need to send Cindy Hyde Smith packing. We need to send her packing. We've got work to do. Basic needs. Basic needs. Food. Food for children. Food for hungry, poor children. They sacrifice that to give these billionaires a tax break. We need help around the country. I'm going to tell you, like Jasmine Crockett, for example. They are throwing millions of dollars into that MAGA Republican that's running against her. Because they want to flip that seat. We got to give to folk even outside of Mississippi. We need to handle Mississippi, but we got to support folk outside of Mississippi. We really do. We really do. We really do. Barbie, it is sad. It is absolutely sad. They are pouring millions into these MAGA seats. Do you realize that in the United States House of Representatives, we only need to flip 4 seats to have a majority, and the Democrats will be back in control? We got to vote, y'all. Barbara, she said that, and I mentioned that just a moment ago. She said, "Thank you. This would be the easiest election that she's ever faced." This is Cindy Hyde-Smith saying this about her opponent, Scott Pallone. And then 2 days later, Todd Pickens switches to independent to run for the same seat. A fragmented black vote, a fragmented Democratic vote, in her mind, cruises her to victory. Brenda says Project 2025 outlined the agenda well. It did. Trump misled his followers, even though his name appeared over 300 times in it. Knowledge is power, right? People weren't listening. People were not listening. People were not listening. Didn't want to hear it. And I will tell you this, and I'm gonna get out of here. Jimbo, you said something earlier, and I missed that comment. Even a bag of stale Doritos would be better than who's representing us now. You're absolutely right. Jim Morris also saying we have to defeat the stance of apathy in our community. That's the first step. That's one of the first steps. You're absolutely right. And apathy is real. Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. Apathy is real, and we've got to get around it. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. Those of you that are suffering from apathy, and all of this is going on, I don't know what else to tell you. All of this is going on. And I know it's real, and I'm not making light of it. I'm just telling you, if what's happening right now does not push you into a place of understanding, we need to get rid of voter apathy. You need to re-engage yourselves. I don't know what it is. The problem for Democrats, and particularly Black Democratic candidates, here's the problem, and we've got to get a grip. Here's the problem: Black candidates don't have the luxury of just simply asking for your vote. We got to get rid of apathy. We got to make sure you're registered to vote. We got to do voter registration drives. We got to make sure you get to the polls. We don't have the luxury of just simply asking you for your support, because we have so many other things to do. In addition to that, we got to make sure you're registered. We got to help eradicate voter fatigue, voter apathy. We got to do all of those things. And that's too much, which means we need to figure out how to get behind a good, solid candidate and work with them. So a lot of us can be doing all of these things while this candidate is on the campaign trail. We've got a lot of work to do in our communities. We've got a lot of work to do. And voter apathy is a real thing. It is. Barbara Ware, I don't quite understand that. Maybe Tyler and Oprah can help her. Help who? Maybe, meaning Jasmine, maybe is who you're talking about? Maybe people having their health taken will bring them out to vote. Having a food stamp. Yes. We need all, you're right. We need all the help that we can get. We need all the help that we can get. And I get voter apathy, but folk, if what happened over the course of these last couple of days don't get rid of voter apathy, I don't know what will. I just don't know what will. I don't know what will. We got to get behind Scott. We got to get Cindy out. Yeah, okay, so you were talking about Jasmine. Yeah, we got to get Cindy Hyde-Smith out. Barbara says, Ty has not even come close in prior attempts. We don't need spoil. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. This thing is serious. We've got to become more engaged. I know we get hyped up when I do shows that feels like gossip or hot topic conversations. I know we get all excited and we are ready to tune in and blah, 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 blah. But we need to get just excited and just as hyped over these things that are affecting our lives, the very lives that we live. This stuff is real, man. This stuff is real. This stuff is real. This stuff is real. Anyway, it passed. Donald Trump signs it tomorrow. But a day of reckoning is coming. November of 2026 is coming. A day of reckoning is coming. We've got to stay engaged. We've got to stay on the front lines. We've got to know what's going on. And when people tell you to call your congressperson, do it. Don't take it lightly. Do it. Do it. Those Republicans in D.C. could care less about you. Benny Thompson is the lone Democrat in D.C. representing Mississippi. He can't do it by himself. He can't do it by himself. He can't do it all by himself. Come on, people. Wake up. Wake up, man. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Amen, Brenda. Amen. Wake up, folk. Wake up, man. Wake up. This is God awful. It's God awful. But a day of reckoning is coming. A day of reckoning is coming. These midterm elections in November of 2026 are very important. Very important. Very important. Very, very, very important. We got to do our parts. We got to vote, man. We got to vote. We need everybody that's a part of the 38% African American population in Mississippi that can vote. We need them voting. And we all can help with that. We put too much on a candidate. We all can help with that. We all can help with that. All right? I'm saddened by this bill. But I'm more saddened that we are not as engaged as we need to be. I'm more saddened by that. We want to be able to take our message across the state, and that's why we need your support. Because we've got to get people engaged across this state. There's so many things happening all across Mississippi, and we want to cover all of that. We want to be a place where Mississippians gather for information. But we can't do it without your help. What happened in D.C. is a travesty. Long-lasting effects, right? But a day of reckoning is coming. A day of reckoning is coming. Get engaged, stay engaged, all right? Enjoy your 4th of July weekend. I just want to come on and talk just for a few moments, so we're not going to go the full hour tonight. Enjoy your 4th. Enjoy your long weekend. Be safe, be careful, be prayerful. Stay in the fight. We'll talk to you again.
Votorama in Senate history. Democrats stood against this moral obscenity of a bill. We filed amendments to stop them from gutting Medicaid, to save health care for people who will lose it, to try to save things like SNAP, to making sure that children have more economic security, to lower the cost of prescription drugs, to protect Planned Parenthood, to protect the Affordable Care Act. We filed amendments that simply said, okay, don't give people making hundreds of millions of dollars a year more of a tax cut. Every time we raise policies that the majority of Americans, independents, Republicans, and Democrats agree on, the majority of the Republicans blocked us. So let's be clear, we got 3 Republicans to stand with us on this side. We were 1 vote short here. They put enormous pressure on the last holdouts. They offered them secret private deals to try to win their support. And eventually they were able to peel off the last Republican that they needed to ensure the passage of this vote. We fought hard over here. We made a lot of progress. We expanded people's awareness of this awful bill. But the fight continues. We have got to fight strong in the House. We faced a defeat today, but we are not defeated. We have got to continue. We are discouraged.